Welcome to the Fort Mill History Museum's annual member meeting. I'm David Ward, the board chair. I miss seeing each of you and look forward to when we can gather again. Thank you for supporting and caring for the museum, especially this past year. We sailed through some uncharted waters, and it was by the museum's dedicated folks we made it through. Even during times of closure or restricted operating hours, many people were still working to take care of the museum. We used the downtime to take care of the museum's facilities, which more will be shared about that later. I would like to thank Christia Humberg, our executive director, for the tremendous job she performed this past year. She maintained our museum with limited funding, and I'm grateful for her leadership and commitment. As we begin 2021, we'll still have some rough spots, but I'm confident because of each of you that we will not just survive, but we will thrive. Thank you for responding to the board and officer elections, and I'd like to report the following new board members and announce your officers for 2021. Our new board members starting their 3-year term is Charlotte Cost of the 4 South Group, Jan Martin of Domtar, Jenny Overman of the Fort Mill School District, Jenny Parrish of the Old English District, and Ginger Williams of Winthrop University. These new members are bringing their skills and expertise to give even more bench strength to our already talented team. I'm thankful for having a diverse experience level from different entities to help the museum, and I look forward to working with them. I would also like to thank Pamela Kaywood and John Kralovich, who are departing from the board, for their service and dedication over the past few years. The officers for 2021 are myself as the chair, Stephen Bivens, Vice Chair, Ashley Taylor, Treasurer, Jenny Overman, Secretary. Next on the agenda will be Ashley Taylor, our Museum Treasurer, to provide the museum's financial information, and then after Ashley will be Christia Humberg, our Executive Director. I will return to give my closing remarks.
Even though 2020 was a tough year for many organizations, the Fort Mill History Museum was lucky enough to have a good year. I would just like to share with all of you a few positives from the 2020 financials. Despite having to close the museum for a majority of the year and canceling most of our events and fundraisers, the museum was still able to come really close to meeting their annual budget. We were about $3,000 short from our goal. We were able to find new sources of funding through many COVID relief programs and cut as many expenses as possible. If you would like to see the 2020 financials, please feel free to email David, Christia, or myself, and we can set up a meeting or email those to you and go over them with you. As I mentioned before, in 2020, the museum took advantage of as many COVID relief programs as we could. We were able to get the PPP loan. We got some grants from the South Carolina Humanities Grant, and we were recently awarded the South Carolina CARES Grant. That grant, we were notified a couple weeks ago that we got that, and we were able to obtain almost $50,000 from that grant. So we were very, very appreciative for that. In 2020, we also sold out the one fundraiser we did have, which is our annual Lanterns and Legends tour. So we were glad that we were able to still have at least one successful fundraiser in 2020. We were also able to fulfill the town grant that we got that allowed us to be able to do many improvements to the house, and we were able to apply as well for next year to help keep that going with both operations and advertising. Lastly, I'd like to thank Jim Kamen for working with us throughout 2020 on our mortgage and just being flexible with those payments, because without that, it would have made 2020 even more stressful than it already was. At our board retreat in the beginning of this month, we approved the 2021 budget, and we also did approve a special budget that allocates how we will be spending that South Carolina CARES grant. In 2021, we're looking forward to improving some of our reporting processes to help assist with the following items. First, we will be completing a biannual expense projection that will help monitor cash flows. We also will be tracking and reporting restricted funds and expenses, so we kind of know on a monthly basis where we stand with some of those grant funding and what we still have left to spend. Lastly, we have set goals to help build savings accounts for the museum, and we will be tracking and reporting these balances on a monthly basis as well to help keep the board informed. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Christia and she'll put you in touch with me. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christia Humberg, and I am the Executive Director. Wow, 2020, a historical year like no other. One of the most challenging years that we all have ever faced. The museum started out with high hopes of many goals and events, but on March 14, 2020, when the coronavirus pandemic forced the museum and many others to close our doors, we started rethinking how to shift gears and survive. It was a year to focus on operations, decreasing expenses, and seek creative funding. However, despite the year's challenges, we restructured, pulled together, and remained positive that there were brighter days ahead. Our successes for 2020 were many. Thanks to the Fort Mill Accommodations Tax Fund, we were able to perform some much-needed maintenance on the Wilson House. We repainted the house, a huge thanks to Mike McAteer and the whole McAteer painting crew for working with us to fit our needs. New gutters were added. Thanks to Elite Air and Heat, we were able to replace our ductwork and add an air purification system that was an additional way to keep our visitors and volunteers safe through the pandemic. We spent a lot of time on yard work, trimmed trees, cut down trees and ground stumps, removed the fence to open the yard, raked leaves, cut grass, and a big thanks to the Fort Mill Garden Club for their tremendous work beautifying the front of the museum. The history research team was created, which was over 15 members and has been pursuing multiple history initiatives that include documenting cemeteries, finding Hagler's Hill, and reviewing historic homes, and so much more. With the help of Constant Contact, we produced 3 digital newsletters, which includes oral history, current events, a volunteer spotlight, and more. This resulted in increased membership, donations, volunteers, and even a local donor purchasing the museum a lawnmower. This will be a quarterly newsletter and a major tool in keeping our members and visitors informed. We've worked super hard on this and want to make sure that you are receiving it. So if you are not, please contact us so that we can make sure that it gets to your inbox. The museum produced a 2020 Christmas ornament of Nims Lake and held an ornament reveal. We were able to safely capture oral history videos and recorded 29 interviews with 33 people. These videos are so valuable to our organization to hear the different stories of residents of the past days in Fort Mill. We held a very successful Lanterns and Legends tour. At the beginning, when we were not even sure if we could pull it off, we were able to provide a very safe, outdoor, and successful event. Many COVID relief grants were applied for and received, as well as new tourism grants. We formed a new partnership with Madison Martin and her students at Catawba Ridge High School. They were amazing. In September, they worked on our Scarecrow for the Town of Fort Mill Scarecrow Contest. They created Textile Tammy, who found love with Textile Terry, our 2019 Scarecrow. Then in November, another teacher, Jessica Calloway, along with Miss Martin and Catawba Ridge students, helped us by creating our Christmas card for a new town project. We're looking forward to working more with this group in the future. And lastly, we survived COVID-19. Currently, we are the only museum open in York County, and we are working hard to keep our visitors and volunteers safe. I want to thank everyone for their membership, donations, volunteering their time, and so much more. We simply could not operate the museum without your dedication and passion for this town and its history. 2021 is here, and we look forward to seeing you at the museum and at our events. Take care and stay safe.
Thanks, Ashley and Christia, for giving your updates. I'm looking forward to 2021 because of the planned events and activities. We will be returning to some of our established and successful items while also adding a few new ones. I would like to encourage you to get involved and tell your friends about the events and opportunities so they will jump on the train, the fun train, and become part of the team. The beginning of January, the board had a 3-hour retreat session, and one of the key topics discussed was the museum's 2021 through 2023 strategic plan. The plan was included in the email that was sent, and I urge you to take some time and review the document, since you are a vital component to its success. We have established goals and objectives across our major focus areas so the museum can be innovative in achieving our vision and mission for our great community. If you have any questions or comments regarding the strategic plan, please send me an email and I'll get back with you. Let me close the annual member meeting by once again thanking each of you for your commitment, engagement, and desire to build on the 10 years the museum has been around with energizing events, information, and activities. It is fun and exciting for the people, both those who live in Fort Mill their entire life, and for all of our newcomers coming to the community who are getting involved with the museum. So please, get engaged, because there is a place for you at the Fort Mill History Museum, and thank you.